For centuries, people believed you could turn lead into gold. They were wrong, mostly, because today we actually can. In May 2025, scientists at CERN turned lead into gold. Not metaphorically, they actually did it. So how? And why can't we get rich? This story starts in ancient Egypt and ends near the speed of light. This is Shop LC Originals. I'm Heather Chambers. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Alchemists weren't crazy. Lead and gold feel almost identical. Same density, similar weight. What they didn't know is what makes elements different. Protons. Gold has 79, lead has 82, just 3 apart. Now here's the crucial thing. Chemistry only ever touches the electrons on the outside of atoms. You can heat lead, dissolve it, mix it with anything you like, and it will never change the number of protons in its nucleus. It will always be lead. That's why 2,000 years of alchemical experimentation went nowhere. But nuclear physics is different. Nuclear physics reaches inside the nucleus, and if you can physically strip 3 protons out of a lead nucleus, what you're left with has 79 protons, which is gold. That's the whole trick, and it's exactly what CERN did. For 2 millennia, the smartest people alive chased this dream. Here's the speed run. 300 AD, Alexandria. The Philosopher's Stone is first described in writing by the Greek-Egyptian alchemist Zosimos of Panopolis, a red powder that supposedly turns lead into gold and grants immortality. Even then, rulers took the threat of fake gold so seriously that the Roman Emperor Diocletian ordered every alchemical text in Egypt burned in 292 AD to stop people counterfeiting currency. That's how destabilizing the mere idea of transmutation was. 8th to 12th century, Islamic scholars like Jarir ibn Hayyan, known in Europe as Gerber, transform alchemy from mysticism into something closer to systematic science. They develop acids, distillation techniques, and laboratory methods that still underpin chemistry today. These weren't fraudsters. They were serious experimenters working with a flawed model of matter. Medieval Europe. Holy Roman Emperor Rudolf II bankrolled teams of alchemists hoping to fund his empire through manufactured gold. Nicholas Flamel, yes, the one from Harry Potter, claimed in 1382 to have cracked the Philosopher's Stone after decoding an ancient text. He did mysteriously become very wealthy shortly afterwards and donated generously to charity. Whether he actually made gold or just told a good story, history is never quite decided. And then there's the detail that always stops people cold. Isaac Newton, arguably one of the greatest scientists who ever lived, spent decades secretly practicing alchemy and filled notebooks with alchemical experiments. So did Robert Boyle, the father of modern chemistry. These were not gullible men. They genuinely believed transmutation was possible. They were right, just completely wrong about the mechanism. Here's the real legacy though. All that failed gold hunting accidentally gave us chemistry itself. Alchemists developed distillation, developed early acids, and created laboratory equipment still used today. In 1669, a German alchemist named Henning Brandt, convinced the Philosopher's Stone could be extracted from human urine, boiled down enormous quantities of the stuff and accidentally discovered phosphorus, glowing in the dark in his lab. The alchemist didn't find gold. They built the foundations of modern science by looking for it. By the 1720s, no serious scientist was still chasing transmutation through chemistry. The dream was dead. And then radioactivity was discovered and it rewrote everything. 1902, Ernest Rutherford and Frederick Soddy are studying radioactive elements when they observe something extraordinary. Thorium is spontaneously converting itself into radium. Nature is performing transmutation on its own with no human intervention. 1919, Rutherford goes further and artificially transmutates nitrogen into oxygen by bombarding it with alpha particles, the first deliberate, controlled elemental conversion in human history. May 7th, 2025. The ALICE collaboration at CERN publishes a paper in Physical Review C, a peer-reviewed physics journal, and buried in the conclusions is one of the most remarkable sentences in modern science. It reads, "The transmutation of lead into gold is the dream of medieval alchemists, which comes true at the LHC." So how does it actually work? The Large Hadron Collider is a 27-kilometer circular tunnel under the Swiss-French border lined with superconducting magnets. Inside it, lead nuclei are accelerated to 99.9999993% of the speed of light. At that velocity, which is so fast the number is almost meaningless to the human brain, something physically strange happens to the electromagnetic field surrounding each nucleus. It gets compressed into a flat pancake shape perpendicular to the direction of travel, generating an intense, short-lived burst of photons. Now, most of the time in the LHC, lead nuclei collide head-on with enormous violence, producing quark-gluon plasma, the state of matter that filled the universe a millionth of a second after the Big Bang. That's what CERN is actually there to study. But in near-miss collisions, where nuclei zip past each other without directly touching, those photon bursts interact with the opposing nucleus, exciting its internal structure until it ejects particles. This process is called electromagnetic dissociation, and in rare cases, a lead nucleus ejects exactly 3 protons and 2 neutrons. What remains has 79 protons. That's gold. At this point, you're probably thinking, okay, so we can make gold. Can't we just scale it up? No. And the numbers explain why with brutal clarity. The production cost of nuclear transmutated gold is estimated at roughly 1 trillion times the market price of gold. You'd be spending approximately $3 quadrillion to make 1 ounce. The entire global economy is worth about $100 trillion. You'd need 30 times the value of all human economic activity on Earth to make 1 ounce of gold this way. So why can't we get rich? Because it's absurdly expensive, roughly 1 trillion times the value of the gold produced. The gold can be radioactive. The atoms don't survive. And this isn't even the goal. CERN is studying the fundamental nature of matter, and gold is just a byproduct. A very cool one. From ancient alchemists to modern particle physics, this is one of the longest quests in human history. And technically, they were right, just a few thousand years early. And if all this talk of gold has got you hankering for some of your own, we've got a great selection at shoplc.com. And even better news is if you check out the description below, you'll find a discount code for $50 off your order with no minimum spend. I'm Heather Chambers for Shop LC Originals. Don't forget to like and subscribe.